glad you're here with me today and I'm Dr. Susan with Play and Learn. And because we have the July 4th weekend coming up this next weekend, I thought we would do a little bit about how we can live in gratitude for what we have in not only our country, but in our families, and how that makes a difference. And I thought I would start today with a little thought that we can kind of put in the back of our minds and then bring it up when we might need it. And today it says, I am love being loved. I am joy being joyful. I am life by living. I am. So just think about those things. So it's love, joy, and living. So let's see what we can get out of the love and the joy and the living of this morning. So I have the new book series I wanted to introduce to you, and it's called the Zen Pig, P-I-G, just like that. So the character in the story is a pig, and it is a pig that has gotten to that place as we take the character and put the character kind of within inside of us to have it give us some ideas as to how we can live joyfully and how we can live in love and how we can live in just being here. So we're going to talk about that story, and then after that I thought we could talk a little bit about how we kind of create that for ourselves. And of course the supplies that I have today you may not have at home, but if you want to get your pen, we'll see scissors, and if you can make stars and pieces of paper to write some words on. So if you want to do that with me this morning, you certainly can, or you can come back and visit a little bit later with the supplies in hand, and then you can make one of these for yourself. All right? So we're going to do the story first and see what Zen Pig has to offer us today. All right. Okay. All right, this is Zen Pig, and he has probably, I think, 3 or 4 books. And this first one is book 1, and it's called The Art of Gratitude. The series of the books is written by Mark Brown, and they're illustrated by Amy Larwig. So if you are looking for this book, if you like it, and would like to have it on your bookshelf with you and your parents, you can pick it up at Amazon. I don't know if it's at any of the particular bookstores, but I know that Amazon carries it. So this is the very first one. So let's see what Zen Pig has to offer us today. Eons ago, on a green grassy knoll, lived a pleasant little pig who always seemed quite whole. He's cute, and he likes bamboo. He enjoyed his life much more than most because he took the time to look at things close. And if you notice in the picture, he is actually holding a flower and he's looking at a caterpillar. I think you can kind of see that. And standing in I guess in the grass on the knoll. Wherever he was always there, ready and willing to be fully aware. So what he's talking about is that he paid attention to what was around him. And he took in the joys that were there. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. That Zen Pig is special, is what everyone would say. Yet Zen Pig denied and said, I'll show you the way. So he's inviting us to learn how he does what he does. So he's got butterflies and a rabbit and a fox ready and willing to listen to what he has to share. Care for each other as much as yourself, and never lose sight that love is true wealth. So taking care of others, he's sharing his umbrella in the rain with a kitty. And when you speak, choose your words with care. Only kindness and compassion will ease others' despair. That's such true thoughts and such a good idea. And so Pig is trying to help the elephant feel better. It's always nice to be able to help someone feel better. We all make mistakes, So forgive yourself fast. Don't don't expect to be perfect, or happiness won't last. So if you spill your milk at breakfast, or you drop one of your papers and it spreads all over the floor, don't be mad at yourself. Just know that it's one of those mistakes we get the opportunity to learn from. So he's helping, I believe that's a raccoon. He's helping the raccoon clean up some tea. Never waste time thinking of the future or the past. Just enjoy this moment and all that it has. Yeah, that's pretty good information to keep in your mind. We'll talk a little bit more about that too later. Okay. Be thankful for all that you have. There is no need for more. You have everything that's needed to walk through happy's door. They certainly look happy, ice cream cones and all. When someone is in need, don't think, just ask. Give all that you can and don't hold back. Looks like the little bird nest fell out of the tree, or the tree broke. And Zen Pig is helping by building him a birdhouse. That's very sweet. He didn't ask the bird if he wanted him to do that. He just thought that would be a good thing. Listen to my words and follow the path. Then you too will sit atop the knoll with the green, green grass. And his last parting thoughts, namaste. The light in me loves the light in you. And we'll talk about what that means. So this is what Mr. Pig had to share for us. So we're going to take a look at the different things that Mr. Zen Pig talked about. And he talked about, did he say anything that seemed terribly hard to do or would be very taxing for our minds to think about? No, I don't think he did. He was very simple and very easy. So we're going to kind of do that. But we're also going to do is bring in the idea of the holiday that's coming up next Saturday, July 4th. And of course, July 4th we know is when we celebrate the birthday of the United States. And with that, I know there's a lot of turmoil and chaos and all kinds of things going on that our parents have to deal with right now. And we do too, but luckily it's summer and we have no school, so we don't have that to deal with. So we can just be where we are at the moment. And when he was talking about, when Zen Pig was talking about, don't sit in the future and don't sit in, when he's talking about that, around you at that moment in time when you're thinking about, well, let's see, in 2 months or 3 months, I get to go back to school, or I was able to do that over again. But we'll change what we didn't do before, but we certainly, or in the past, but certainly plan what we plan to do maybe tomorrow or the next day. But what we want to do is just be where we are today. Be in this particular moment. Live life with joy and with love. So being in the moment allows us to be where we are. And whether that's making your bed, getting dressed, having breakfast, thinking about your friends, if you can get together with them and take care of the things that we're supposed to do, which is wearing a mask and distancing things to keep ourselves, not only us, but our friends healthy and happy. So those are some of the things that we can do at this present moment, instead of worrying about what might happen in 3 months or what I didn't do yesterday or the day before yesterday. So we're going to create a little of a, kind of like a poster or thing you can hang up in the room that'll remind you about being where you are right at this moment, just as Zen Pig was talking about. And I've used some of the things that he talked about to just remind us. So the first thing I cut out a big red circle. I did red because red, white, and blue is colors of the United States flag. So I thought that would be kind of appropriate for July 4th. So there's a big red circle. And you can't miss it. When you hang it in your room, you can't miss that big circle. So we also that represents our country is stars. So I have stars here. These are felt, and they don't tear and things like that. So we're going to take these stars, and we're going to kind of place them around the circle like this, just on the edge. You can have red, white, and blue, or any colors you want, I suppose. Doesn't have to like the flag. That's not the reason that I did it this way. I just thought it would represent things we're talking about as far as our freedom and the things that we get to do that others don't. All right? So I put the flags around here, and we're going to take the idea that Zen Pig gave us and put down kind of the things that I thought would really make a difference for us when we think about them, when we're right on our toes, and think about how we can make a difference not only in how we think and feel, but how it might affect other people, which like us are. And right now, the most important part is our family, ourselves and our family. And when we make a difference in there, that energy goes out into our neighborhood and with our friends and just kind of circulates. So it's a good idea to start with that for yourself. So let's see, I have one extra blue that I'm going to put over here. So what I did is I went ahead and I took the words that Zen Pig told us on the very last page. He said, Namaste. Namaste is a greeting, and the greeting means that the light in me loves the light in you. So what that means, and usually a person will come up to you and they'll put their hands like this, and they'll look at your eyes and bow down like that. And that's being respectful to you by looking in your eyes and telling you that the light in me loves the light in you, which is probably something we would love to see everybody have that same idea and use those same words. Because when you love yourself, it's much easier to love someone else. And when we say the light inside of you, just because the outside doesn't match my outside, doesn't make any difference. It's that way we feel and the way we act and how we think. Those are the things that attract other people to us. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to put this sign. I'm going to put the blue star right in the middle, and I'm going to glue the felt star, put some glue on the back. This is that tacky sticky glue that works really well. So I'm going to put that right in the middle, like right there. That's the first one. And on that, I'm going to take the sign that I just read to you, to what Namaste means. And I'm going to put some glue right in the center of that, just like that. And we'll put that right over the very center of the blue star. Can't see much of the star, but you know it's there. So we put that one there first. And this is the biggest reminder that if we always say this to ourselves, the light in me is the love that I am, that's something that we can use every single day, and especially if we're having a hard time. You wrap your arms around yourself and give yourself a gentle hug and say, I'm so important, and what I do and what I say and how I behave is the way I want to be and the way I want to show myself to the world. And that's not only your world that you live with your family, but outside of that, outside of your front door. All right, so we have that one down. And then one of the most important things that he says a couple of times in the story is he talks about, and the red goes quite well with that, he talks about, and there's just the glue on the star. I think I'll turn it this way so you can get a better picture of it, okay? There we go. And we're going to put that right at the very top. And that one's going to have the word, which makes sense because of red. We're going to use the word love, and we're going to put that right in the middle of that star. Because you can see love in the Namaste statement, the love, and that's the representation of that, and also of what Zen Pig says. Okay, then we're going to take the next heart, and we're going to put some more blue on that, and then I'll tell you some of the other one that I liked in the story that I want to remind myself to do. So we're going to glue the blue star there. And then this one is love is true wealth, when he talked about that. is that you can't put love in the bank, but you can put love everywhere else. And this makes you a very wealthy person. Not necessarily because you have lots of money in your hand or in your pocket. Love is the way in which we interact with one another, how we share who we are. And that's wealth, even if it isn't in coins and dollar bills. That's the way that we share who we are. And who we are, and when we're, you know, the different ages that all you guys are. You know, when I was like 8 or 9 years old, I wasn't thinking a lot about how much money I had. I was thinking about the things I enjoyed doing, not only the time I would spend with doing things for myself that I enjoyed, but what I could do at home and how I could help my mom and help my dad do things. And I have 2 sisters and a brother. And when we did play games and all that kind of stuff, that was really how rich we were because of that. And of course, that's never gone away. I still have my brother and my 2 sisters. All right. And then, but true wealth, that's the really important part. It's the true wealth, and the true wealth is love. So that's a good thing to remember. All right, so now the next one that I thought of that Zen Pig told us about, I'm just going to go ahead and put this one here, is that he told us, and put that star right there, he told us, listen. And he said, listen to me, because he was sharing some information. But if we take that part of listen to me or some specific person, to take that out and just listen. If we listen with an open heart and we don't have our minds made up when someone's trying to tell us something or ask us something, that we really truly listen to what is being said, and then we can make our decision on how we want to react or respond to whatever that statement is, or directions, or whatever it is we need. And listening with an open heart means you're going to hear it all the way through before you make up your mind on something. You know, because sometimes mom and dad can start to tell you something and you say, oh, I've heard this before, yuck, 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 you know? And your mind kind of goes there. Well, that's not a good direction or path to go in, because you never know what's beyond the listen part. They just say, would you listen to me for a moment? You don't know what's going to go beyond that moment, and it might be the most amazing thing in the whole wide world. But because you've already have your mind made up that you aren't going to like what you hear, you might miss out on something. So listen with an open heart. And it means that you're not going to make judgments about what's being said or who's saying it. But we're going to listen with an open heart and then make decisions on how and what we're going to do about what we hear. Okay? So there's that one. And I thought that was very, whoops, keep dropping the stars on here. I think that was a very important thing that Zen Pig was trying to tell you, or to tell us in his book. Okay, so we're going to put another heart here. Yeah, right here. And this one is use words with care. That was really interesting when Zen Pig was telling us about that. When you use words with care, we don't say things that we may be sorry for later on that we said, or we accidentally hurt someone's feelings, or just say things that don't have a value. You know, I think one of the things that sometimes is hard to think about is how many times we call something stupid. Well, that's stupid, and this is stupid. Well, that thing isn't stupid. It doesn't even know what stupid is. But when we say it, there's always something behind that statement. And is that really stupid? And the other thing, too, is whatever words we say always somehow come back to us. And we certainly don't want to see ourselves as stupid, right? That isn't valuable or help serve us in any way. So we watch the words and we use them with care when we talk. Not only when we're talking to a friend or we're talking to our family or anything like that. We use words with care. I really like that when Zen Pig shared that idea. Okay, so now we have a white star. Let's go ahead and put the glue on that one. And it's funny that it went right after this one. This one is kindness and compassion. And isn't that where our words start? Our words start with kindness and compassion and in using our words with care. Because sometimes people need our compassion on helping them move through a difficult situation. Or just listening sometimes is a good way to demonstrate compassion for someone. So, listen with an open heart, because you'd be amazed what you're able to help someone with simply by listening. You don't have to say anything or tell somebody what to do or anything like that. It's the kindness is the listening, and the compassion is just allowing that person to share where they are and what they're feeling and why they're sad or why they're this or that. Then the other one, too, is kindness. People just like to share where they are and how they're doing, and you can share things in kind. Be in kindness with someone. And that's really important. But so that's some of the things that we can think about that we can do. Okay, so we got another blue star. And this one really talks about, we're going to get to July 4th now, really talks about how we are in gratitude, which was what the book was about today, the art of gratitude. And how do we show gratitude? Well, we show that by saying please and thank you and, the normal manners and things of that nature. But if you're thankful inside for your mom and your dad and your brothers and sisters, even though at times they can be annoying, we know that, but the home that you have and knowing that you get to have a nice dinner or breakfast or lunch, and you get to spend time with your family. And over July 4th is a really nice time. And I know we can't spend it this year like we usually do, but we can find great ways to show gratitude and thankfulness for all that we have and all the people that we have in our lives too. And for being able to have the home and the wonderful meals and spending time with family. And even if you can't be physically with your grandparents right now, you certainly can get on FaceTime or Skype or one of those other technological ways you can communicate with someone and be able to share that way. Even though you're not physically there, you're still connected. And that's one of the ways in which you can do it. You can write letters. People don't write very many letters anymore. They type things on computers and stuff like that, emails and such, or texting. You know what texting's all about, right? But to write somebody a letter or a card and take your own handwriting or your own printing, and you take the time to pick out the card and write something you want to share with them, and then mail it. You know how much fun that is for grandparents? They love that stuff. I'm a grandparent, and I love getting cards and stuff from my grandkids in the mail because it tells me they're thinking about me, and it also brings that back to me, and I'll want to reciprocate and do the same thing. So that's, and the importance of that, and that's being thankful for all that you have in your family and for the place in which we live that we're able to do that. And one of the other things that Zen Pig told us about was to, I guess I better put the art down first, was to, when we make mistakes, none of us like to do that, right? None of us want to make a mistake. But if and when we do, the whole idea is to figure out, okay, I made a mistake. I should have did something different or more timely or something like that. And if you did, what did I get out of it? What did I learn from it? And do I plan to do this again? Because if you did, then that's not a mistake. That was on purpose. A mistake is something that you do when you're not really thinking, or you just did it in the wrong way. And a mistake is something that you learn from. And as you learn from it, you can forgive yourself for creating the mistake because now you have new information. Now you have something else to go with. So if that situation comes up again, you go, oh, I don't want to do that. I want to do this instead. So you don't have to deal with the consequences or the uncomfortable feelings or any of that things that come with making mistakes. So be sure to be able to forgive yourself. If you have thoughts about somebody that isn't very nice or isn't pleasant, forgive yourself for thinking about that person in that way. Because when we think about things like that and we create those things, guess what? They come back again. And we have to figure out how to do it again. So figuring out the first time is a whole lot easier. But the idea of forgiving yourself or forgiving someone else, if they've done something or said something that hurt your feelings or made you unhappy, you have to figure out why you did that or why that made you unhappy and how you can fix it with whoever that person is. So you get your opportunity to help them forgive themselves for that too. Not that you would point it out, but it would be something that if you, say your friend hurt your feelings, that you went to your friend and said, you know, that didn't make me feel very well. It made me this or that. Of course, that's how you reacted to what they said, but you want to be able to smooth that out with them so that you guys can still build and keep your friendships going. So remembering to do that for yourself and also for others, if and when things and situations like that come up. So here's what we've created. We've created this circle with these hearts and with the saying that says on the inside. See how big those are? You can't miss those, can you? You hang those on the wall and that would be something you can really remember and see. So, but the one I love the best is the one in the middle, which is Namaste. The love in me loves the light in me loves the light that's in you. And you know, if you couldn't recognize that love within yourself, or that light within yourself, you couldn't recognize it in anyone else. So the best person to start with to uncover that light and the joy that you give the world is to recognize it and just let it be and be yourself. So that's our banner for today. And then I'll repeat our affirmation for today, which is the card that I have. And maybe you can take those ideas and those things through the week with you. And there's the, hold up like that for the big camera can see it. And there's our small camera so that you can see that. And if you want to make something like this, it's fun. And you can use anything you really want. It doesn't have to be stars. But if you'd like to remind yourself of things that you'd want to make different for your life or different in the things you're doing, or you just simply want to remember something wonderful, you can do that. And that's the ways in which you can share your light with someone else. So, and here's our reminder for what we started with. We started with, I am love being loved. I am joy being joyful. I am life by living. I simply am. So, be that loving joy and recognize the light within yourself, which is love, and to share that with someone else. So, Namaste. The light in me loves the light in you. So you have a lovely week and a lovely July 4th weekend. And I'll see you soon. Bye.